Hi, once again, thank you for joining us. I'm Kelly Dack for Real Time with IPC. We are here on the Apex floor today, first day, and joining me is Oscar Akbar and Matt Kahn from Lenthor Engineering. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lenthor is a well-known supplier and processor of rigid flex circuitry, Milpitas area.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Flex is huge. It keeps getting huger. What is going on in the world of flex today?
In fact, flex is getting smaller because the circuits are getting smaller. The business is getting larger. The good things about Lenthor is Lenthor 2 years ago moved into a brand new 55,000 state-of-the-art facility in Milpitas or Northern California. We were operating in 3 separate buildings, campus style. And since we moved, we had the chance to create a brand new lean manufacturing facility based on lean principles.
Now, for some of our viewers, what do you mean by a lean?
What lean means is to process a circuit board, it takes about, as you know, it takes about 40 to 50 steps. And we primarily work on rigid flex and flex rigid type boards. Matt here is the EMS manager, and he joined us about 7, 8 years ago. Lenthor itself has been around for about over 30 years. About 8 years ago, we brought Matt in to build out our capabilities so people can get a full spectrum of services.
Sure. Well, Matt,
back to the question, I'm done.
Okay.
The lean manufacturing, for the 40 steps of the circuit board, we set the plant out, we laid the facility out to start with the sharing of the material, and it's in logical sequence, the drilling, to dry film, to lamination, all the way to shipping and receiving. So every step, there's never a wasted step or an inch as the product travels through the facility. So lean means you reduce all the motion and movement and make it as little as possible.
Excellent. So efficiency, and you're doing production, right? Production and prototyping?
Yes, we do both.
So are these typically done on the same line, or do you have a special prototyping lines or sections?
Well, we do prototypes, we do pre-production, we also do production.
Okay.
We specialize mainly in the military market and in medical instrumentation and industrial. We feel those niches are what's going to carry us forward in this.
Well, let's dive a little deeper. I'm going to ask Matt to explain your capabilities, and let's dive deep. Let's go into some of the process
For the assembly?
steps for assembly of. Am I asking the right person for bare board or bare rigid flex board? You do bare rigid at your bare rigid flex at your
Yeah, we do
facility,
flex
right?
and rigid flex circuit.
Right.
But my specialty is in the assembly side.
Okay. So let's shift over to assembly then. Once a board is panelized, we have an array, moves on to assembly. How are you working with your customers, or what have you already got from your customers? What kind of information that you're going to now turn into a successful assembly?
Well, we dictate if we are going to panelize or run it in single for efficiency, repeatability, and also cost.
Okay.
So we will work with CAM engineering, and we'll decide, is it value added to go single or in an array form? You got to determine there's stiffeners, PSA, and things like that. And with flex circuit, it's like potato chip. It's very delicate.
Sure.
And doing it on the assembly side, you got to be very careful. You got you design your tool correctly, make sure your recipe are dialed in, or you end up burning the circuit. It's not like rigid. There are challenges every day.
Sure.
One of the things when we brought Matt on, Lenthor Engineering, as the name implies, were heavy engineering, design and engineering on the circuit board and the manufacturing. The reason we hired Matt and brought him on, he has a very, very detailed background in the R&D side, in the prototyping side, and he is in the NPI side, new product introduction. So he's able, when we get a customer, and they're all very complex boards, he's able to design a good carrier to make these boards successfly made on the EMS line.
How about, let's talk about some of the process. Vias, laser vias, HDI, or what are the capabilities you're going to? You hear so many designers touting or requiring even with some of the finer pitch BGAs that are out there, a need to shrink the topologies, the geometries of their trace and space down so much. Problematic? Tell us where it's a problem.
Vias, they're challenges, but that's where we have our specialty, the engineering side in the pre, where we have planners and engineers that are dedicated to look into those processes on the fab side.
Do you offer designers guidance for their designs?
Yes.
So they don't get into trouble. They get to a certain point. It makes it to your CAM and engineering operation.
Yes.
That's not the time to find out that
No.
the via sizes, the pad sizes, of the board construction, or the layup or stack up is too
small,
difficult.
too big, too difficult. We have a sales engineer who represents Lenthor, who deals with the customer on a daily basis. What she does, her job is to bring in the files, look at it, get with CAM engineering, and we determine, we use Valor, and at the same time we have a report called DFM, shoot it back to the customer, and highlights these are critical points, what our recommendations are.
Okay, very good.
And then they'll trickle down to me on the assembly, and they'll ask me, hey, what do you think? We need stiffener, no stiffener, copper, make the board flat, because flex circuit, like I said earlier, is very, very delicate, very challenging.
What are some of the most challenging component sets that you're assembling now? Are you going sub 0.5 millimeter pitch? You're going lower?
Well, we're doing micro BGAs, and not a lot of people have put micro BGA on flex circuit. If your boards are not flat, you will get that wavy, and you get shorts and opens. So we have a current customer right now who's doing about 500 balls of BGAs successfully. So he's coming back, and now we're going to do a pre-pilot, and then we're going to do a pre-production, and we're going to go straight to volume production. Wow. He's the first that's doing this design with 500 ball BGAs.
And what do you, on a design like that, just out of curiosity, I'm a designer, what are you considering volume at that point with that scope of a product?
500 to 1,000 per order.
Very good.
Is that safe to say?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for talking with us. I think we learned a lot. And Lenthor, I know, is a name that's been out for a long, long time. So I wish you both the best. You're going to have a good show. Oh, wait a second. I may have forgotten something, because you guys skipped out on me a little earlier, but it was for a really good cause. What was it?
We bought a couple machines.
Woohoo! Like timeshare. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
had,
Good job.
Sorry that we had to skip
I
out,
think we
but
spent
No,
our
I
capital
fully
budget
understand.
in the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so you're renewing machinery or adding to?
adding more capabilities, right?
Excellent.
We look every year in January before the show, we put a capital budget together.
Yeah.
And the capital budget has our wish list of what we want, and we categorize them in whether they're redundancies or they're critical, technology drivers. And
Understood.
based on the three, whether technology ahead, redundancy, that's what we decide.
Very wise. Again, gentlemen, thanks for being with us today. With me has been Matt Kahn and Oscar Akbar from Lenthor Engineering. I'm Kelly Dack for Real Time with IPC. Thanks for being with us.